Yo, yo, yo. What's good people? It is your boy TP from your Don't Listen Podcast, Sports Talk Edition. Yeah, we got some news for y'all. I apologize to you in advance because my voice is a little nasally. It's because I've been under the weather for the last 3 days. And basically, this was a pod that I was going to get into earlier before I had got sick. And, I'm feeling a little better right now. Still under the weather, but I'm feeling a little better right now. And, it's some important news out here because what I want to talk about is the difference between when a black athlete messes up and when a white athlete messes up, right? To bring the difference in, because I've been actually seeing some of the main guys that's on other sports talk shows and other networks actually talking about it, which is kind of strange to me, but we are living in strange times, right? But at the moment, I was like, I'm watching other sports talk shows, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to them talk about Brett Favre, right? Now, everybody want to sit around and when they talk about Brett Favre, they want to sit around and they want to talk about how great of a player he was, which he was a great player. I would never take that away from him. He was a great player. But the one thing they won't talk about is all the transgressions that Brett Favre had during his career. Because I notice there's a few sports commentators out there that do shows or whatever. And when certain athletes mess up, certain color of athletes mess up, man, they go crazy. Start talking about people like, let's say, for instance, Michael Vick's situation with the dogs. Oh my God, they gave that man hell for years over them dogs. Hell, they gave that man hell. Even when he came back, they was outside freaking protesting. They was trying to get him kicked off the Eagles team. I remember all that. You know what I mean? Adrian Peterson, for him disciplining his child the way he did, got him out of the league for a few years and, and messed up his career to a certain extent as far as his numbers wasn't being counted. But let's talk about the complexion for the protection. Because there's always been this in sports. There's always been where if you are from a certain race, ethnicity, background, whatever you want to call it, when you do some dirt, tend to get swept under the rug when you certain type of people. You know what I'm saying? But I remember CNN running a piece on Adrian Peterson and Michael Vick. I remember MSNBC going after him. Fox News going after him. When these black players mess up, shut up and dribble shit they told LeBron to do. And, when black players mess up, I mean, the hammer comes down very, very hard. And here we got everybody's favorite guy that wears copper fit, Brett Favre, out here doing some of the most shadiest shit that I have ever heard done. I mean, I'm reading a story because I'm not watching from the news. I actually go to source reading, folks. I know that's a lost art where other people allow somebody else's interpretation of something to become their interpretation of a thing. But I would advise most people, what I would advise people to do is just go to a place where you can get the facts of actually what's going on and read it for yourself. That way you get your own determination of what you think is going on, because it's all right to listen to somebody's opinion. But like I said, in every video that I do, I always tell people to go and find their own facts. You know, that way you can't feel like you're being influenced by somebody. You came up to your own decision on your own, right? So let's get back to it. Brett Favre is saying here, you know, that the man was stealing money from the welfare system in the state of Mississippi. Right? Now, there's no reason, and I'm not saying that Brett Favre is on welfare, folks. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is him and some other people conspired to defraud the state of Mississippi of welfare funds. Now, how could somebody do that? Number one, that should be the number one issue. How could anybody be defrauding? Because I know, let's say a regular person defraud the state of welfare. Oh, they coming after them with tons of fines and penalties, jail time, maybe all kinds of shit, and you'd never be able to get the shit again, right? That's what they do, right? And me personally, I would love to see what they're going to do to this guy, because I'm gonna read y'all some stuff that I thought this was. It made me get out my sick bed, okay? And I'm really sick, but I thought this story was important enough for people to hear, because like I said, I don't see the same energy when these white guys do shit that are athletes than these black guys do. We all know that's the case. That's in all aspects of life here in America. We always know that. We've been knew that. But this is even more of a thing to pay attention to, because we're going to see how they get to their conclusion on this. And this is that part when I say, heck, hell, pay attention. You know what I'm saying? This is one of them times where I say people need to pay attention to this, because we need to see how they going to treat this man compared to if it was you or I or somebody we know. So let me read what they got here. Let me make it so I can share it and y'all can read for yourself if that's what you want to do. If you don't like my nasal ass voice right now, if you don't like the way my voice is sounding right now, it sounds very nasally because I'm sick as hell. Like, I'm feeling better today, folks, but trust me, there's a lot of medication allowing me to do this right now. So And I figured, screw myself, this is for the people, so I'm here. Okay. The state of Mississippi is suing former NFL quarterback and Hall of Famer Brett Favre and others, alleging that they misspent millions of dollars that had been allocated for welfare. Listen to that, right? Newly revealed messages from 2017 indicate that the former Mississippi governor, Phil Bryant, who left office in 2020, was aware of an arrangement and that the money that was intended to help low-income families. Think about that, folks. People that's already making a lot of money, Brett Favre and this governor, Phil Bryant, they already rich compared beyond measure, right? They already rich. They figuring out other ways to steal money. Greed is the sin of all. If you got it all, why do you want more? Okay, but let's keep going. After being funneled through a nonprofit, it eventually went to Favre to help build a volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi, the lawsuit alleges. Favre, who had a storied 20-year NFL career with the Green Bay Packers, New York Jets, and others, has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing in the matter. Okay. All right. That's him right there, y'all. That's how he's looking. Okay. So what allegations is Brett Favre facing in the lawsuit? The lawsuit brought in May on behalf of the Mississippi Department of Human Services alleges that the defendant squandered more than $20 million from the state's temporary assistance for needy families anti-poverty program. Now, me personally, I'm sitting here thinking, if a government organization has control over the money, which is a federal program, is ran by the state, but it's a federal program, don't they get audited? Find out where the money's being going to? Like, don't they get audited, folks? Like, that's your tax money. So somebody should be keeping tabs on where your tax money is going, but I digress. Text messages newly entered Monday in the lawsuit show that then Governor Phil Bryant was involved in the scheme and even guided Favre on how to write a funding proposal so that it could be accepted by the Mississippi Department of Human Services. Okay, so this governor, this governor, Phil Bryant, former governor of Mississippi, guided Favre on how to write a funding proposal. Number one, how is Brett Favre entitled to get any funding from the Department of Human Services? How is that money allocated towards things that's not helping people other than doing just that? Like, why is it $20 million available to do other shit and not what the money is allocated for? That's a whole nother separate conversation. Nobody's talking about that. All they're talking about is Brett Favre stole money. But how is money allocated to help people able to be used to do anything other than just that? That's a whole nother conversation. We might get into it. I got to do some digging. Okay. Rather than the money go to the program. Okay, here we go. The suit alleges alleges it was funneled through a nonprofit group. How can that happen? That's what I would like to know. How can somebody funnel money from something that's supposed to help people to anything they decide to do? That don't even make sense. To me, the Mississippi Community Education Center to Favre and eventually spent on a new volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi. Now, let me ask you this. If the University of Southern Mississippi needed a volleyball facility, why can't the University of Southern Mississippi fund their own volleyball facility? Because there's the money that these kids spend a day for college tuition, should be able to fund anything they want to do. And if they don't have the money to do it, why don't the University of Southern Mississippi go to the governor himself and ask for state funds to do that and not have it come from any welfare program that's designed to help people? All right, let's go on. Both Favre and former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant attended the school. Okay, what does that mean? Favre's daughter started playing on the volleyball team there in 2017. So Brett Favre wanted the new volleyball facility for his daughter, and that causes them to steal $20 million. Wow. Wow, this is amazing, people. Like I'm listening to what I'm saying, and I hope you're listening to what I'm saying about this situation. It's very eye-opening to see like this corruption, like straight up. Like now they really don't even care, because most of them know nothing's going to happen to them. Like I doubt very sincerely anything's going to happen to this governor or to Brett Favre. Honestly, I don't think they, like, the only way people like this even get touched by anybody is because of public pressure. And I know I'm not the only one talking about this, but I mean, y'all need to pay attention to, they're stealing your money right in front of your face. Okay, let's read this next thing. Text messages that were filed in court documents Monday by a lawyer for the Mississippi Community Education Center show messages between Favre and the center's executive director, Nancy New, dated August 3rd, 2017. The text messages include references to the former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, and Favre seems to acknowledge some impropriety. This is Favre. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? Wow. Look at this. They got the smoking gun already, people. The evidence is already here. Let's see what they do with it, okay? And this Nancy New person, no, we never had that information publicized. Okay, so this is not the first time they did it. This is what that is saying. This is not the first time they did it. It might have been the first time Favre did it, but it ain't the first time this person, Nancy New, did this. Okay? Because she's saying it never been publicized before, so they saying they acknowledging the fact that they have done this before. Okay? All the corruption, all these people that's above the law, And none of that is afforded to us, good people. But these people just steal money right in front of people's faces and get away with it. Well, we'll see if they get away with it. She said, no, we have never had that information publicized. I understand you being uneasy about that, though. Let's see what happens on Monday with the conversation with some of the folks at Southern. Maybe it will click with them, hopefully. Wow. Wow. Look at this. Now, here they got some other stuff here. It says here, Brett Favre, will the media find out? This is off Twitter, I'm assuming, out that we're using welfare funds intended to help the poorest residents of America's poorest state to build a volleyball center. Nancy knew, oh yeah, the governor is fully on board. 5 years later, wow, look at this. This is crazy. It's not crazy because these are the signs of the times. And when I tell everybody, and when I say, I'll be like, government's corrupt, right? They want to paint people as, when you say stuff like that, they want to paint people as some kind of leftist, anarchist, or no, these are facts. Or conspiracy theorists. No, these are facts. You know what I'm saying? And then they try to paint you as you some conspiracy theory guy or some lefty anarchist, or I mean, people. If you knew what I knew and the reason why I say what I say, you'll understand where I'm coming from. And they use stuff like this to censor folks too online when all you do is come with facts. This is from USA Today. This ain't some shit I sat home and made up or thought of. It's from USA Today. It's from printed press. But then they will say, hey, you some lefty conspiracy theory guy, right? But this is facts. Okay. So let's hold on one second, folks. So these are the type of things they do so they can shut down voices of dissension when all you do is bring facts and open other people's eyes. But that's what they don't want you to do. They just want to keep doing their stealing and everything else and label you as some crazy guy. I seen this somewhere. That's why I'm saying it to you, folks. That's what I'm being labeled as. Some left-wing guy, anarchist or whatever, left-wing extremist. That's what I'm being called. So I want y'all to know when they say stuff about people like that, it's not really what they say it is. It's just a story that they want to run so they can make you look crazy, so then they could do whatever they want to you and nobody will care because you've been labeled as something that they say is what it is. It's not really what it is. But let me continue. I just went off on a tangent. My bad. Okay. Nancy New and her son Zachary New, who helped run the nonprofit, the Mississippi Community Education Center, pleaded guilty in April to charges of misspending welfare money. They both pleaded guilty. Nancy New and her son. They just showed Nancy New talking to Brett Favre, so he knew what was going on. Why haven't he pled guilty yet? Okay, I mean, this is the problem that we have. If you rich and famous, somehow the laws don't apply to you. How are these people already in court pleading guilty and Favre hasn't been in there? when they got a phone conversation with him talking to this woman that just pled guilty. Okay? Let me find out that the laws is different for rich people and poor people, or rich people and average people. I never knew that. All right. Has Brett Favre said anything about the matter? In October 2021, after he repaid part of the money owed. Whoa, he get to repay the money back? He get to repay part of the money owed? Huh? What? Favre said in a Facebook post that he would never knowingly take funds meant to help our neighbors in need. He will never knowingly. In that text message, he said, would he get in trouble for it? Would anybody find out? So how he did not knowingly know what he was doing? He knowingly knew to say, will I get caught for it? He knowingly knew how to say that, but he would not knowingly know how to take funds. Come on, man. These people are hypocrites. These people are full of shiznit. And they need to be, let's see if they actually do something to this man. Because like I said, these other people pled guilty, right? So they don't even have to go to trial with them. They're going to get sentenced, whatever they get. Why ain't nothing happening to Brett Favre? Why ain't the media talking about it? Because I remember when Adrian Peterson, it was everywhere. I remember when Michael Vick did something, it was everywhere. And the list goes on and on for every black player that ever did anything. How they just smash him. I don't see nobody talking about Brett Favre, so he should be smashed the way he should be. Now, I seen Stephen A. come for him. Salute to you for actually saying something about one of them white quarterbacks, because you usually don't even touch that shit. But Stephen A., I will applaud you this time. You said something. And Shannon Sharp said something as well, and he came for him hard like them two had a problem or something. So I'm like, okay. But I was surprised. But they did what they did, and I appreciate that, because some of these people that get away with the shit they do never get talked about in the media. But it's just funny how you got sportscasters doing the work for the news companies that the news companies won't do their goddamn self. Because this shit is in print, but it ain't on TV. Okay? And it ain't talked about how when somebody did something to some freaking dogs, you know, it ain't talked about how that was talked about. This shit, I would say, is almost even worse, because you took money out of people that really needed, took food out of their fucking mouth. Let's see how much the government really care about you people, depending on what they do to this man, because this is a felony. Welfare fraud is a felony, yeah? In any state in America, that's a felony. So let's see what happens to Brett freaking Favre, right? Favre added that he would never accept money for no-show appearances, and that he was doing all that I can to support the investigation to make things right for the people of Mississippi. Of course he's going to say that now. How about you? You made over $100 million in your career. I'm sure you haven't spent it all up, or maybe you have, but I'm sure you could take 20%. Let's say 20% still leaves you 80 million. I know you made over 100 million off your contracts. There ain't nothing to do with the shit you did on the side or anything. So you ain't have 20 million lying around to say, here, build your little stadium for volleyball for my daughter. But you rather steal it from poor people. Okay? What have others said about Brett Favre since the allegations have emerged? Jeff Pearlman wrote a 2016 biography on Favre called Gunslinger. What? Who cares? The remarkable, improbable, iconic life of Brett Favre. And that's all you hear about Brett Favre. That's all you hear about Brett Favre. You don't hear about none of his other problems. You heard about it for a minute. And don't nobody talk about it. And I still heard somebody say something about Michael Vick recently on TV, talking about the dogs or whatever. But nobody don't talk about how Brett Favre was a pill popper, right? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how Brett Favre was sending dick pics around, right? Nobody talks about that neither, right? To the girl. All that shit gets squashed, right? But they'll talk about a black player for years. But as soon as that shit happened to him, you hear that white noise. Complexion for the protection. Stop playing. Okay? We see it. Somebody said, this is what somebody else saying. Looking at it now, if I'm being brutally honest, I advise people not to read it. Pearlman wrote Tuesday on Twitter, he's a bad guy. Wow. So the guy that wrote a biography saying all those glowingly things about Brett Favre, he's telling people don't even read the goddamn book. That's taking money out of his own pocket. All right, let's go down to here. I don't want to hear about nobody's opinion. We're going to stick to the facts. What else has Brett Favre been accused of? In May 2020, the Mississippi State Auditor said that Mississippi Community Education Center paid Favre Enterprises $500,000 in December 2017 and $600,000 in June 2018 for multiple speaking engagements. All right, let's get to hold. The state auditor said the Mississippi Community Education Center paid Favre Enterprises $500,000 check and a $600,000. That's $1.1 million by my math. The auditor's report said that upon a cursory review of those dates, auditors were able to determine that the individual contracted did not speak, nor was he present for those events. All right, so $500,000 to go speak to some kids? Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I know you famous and all, but why would you want to take money that they could use? I mean, if that's 1.1 million, so let's do some math, folks. That's 1.1 million right there in speaking fees. And let's say the whole facility of the volleyball facility was 20 million. So that 1.1 million is 5% of what that building cost. It's 5%. So he already in the pockets, but he needed more. See that greed already in the pockets. Favre initially denied the claim in the days after the audit, but then repaid $600,000 in October. How are you able to deny it, but then you repay it? Where they do that at? Oh, I didn't take it, but here, let me give you some money. Yo, the things rich people get away with, okay? At the time, the state auditor said that state attorney general could sue Favre if he didn't pay interest owed on the amount. Favre missed a deadline to pay the $228,000 in interest, prompting the state auditor to turn the matter over to the state attorney general. See, even he admitted to screwing up by repaying the money back. And they said, hey, man, you owe us interest on $228,000. He ain't paid that. That's why they going after him, right? Because they got to do account for that money. That's probably going to put some other people. Hey, y'all trying to hide the fact that Brett Favre owes us $228,000? Oh, no, we ain't going to do that. Send that shit to the attorney general. We going to get that damn money because I ain't getting thrown under the bus because of this joke. You understand? That's why it's coming out now. Okay? Somebody said they had enough. We all know who Brett Favre is, so I'm not going to read that, okay? But, I mean, again, let me stop sharing my screen because there ain't nothing else more getting read. Again, this goes to show the differences between the complexion for the protection and the neglection of your government with your goddamn money. They allowing clowns like that to just steal $20 million and get away with it. Like I said, I hear a lot of shit being talked about by Favre, but what's going to happen to that governor who allowed that shit to happen? Let's see if a public official actually get to do some freaking time, because they've been stealing money from us for years, folks. So if that happened near Mississippi, you don't think that's happening all over the country? Just one person got caught doing it. So we should see a little trickle-down effect, right? That's usually what happens, but we'll see. Because I don't think it's going to. Okay? That's all I got for y'all. Like I said, I'm feeling better. I'm almost back. Got a little headache right now, but you know, I'm starting to feel better. And I will be back to a regular schedule because I'm going to be pumping videos out. Oh yeah, I'm going to be pumping them out. Excuse me. So, I want y'all to think about that, y'all. I want y'all to think about how nobody ever heard of this, and this has been going on since 2017. It's 2022 right now. We ain't even heard of it. We're just hearing of it now. And how, if you think it's just happening there, it has to be happening all over the place, right? And that's funny because people, excuse me, that goes to welfare, it ain't like they want to. They go because they have to, or they need to. And I know a lot of people that did that, and they get denied. They get denied. Or they say, oh, we're out of funding, we can't help you. But yet you can fund a $20 million volleyball facility for a freaking university who gets money off of tuition and shouldn't need money from no public, because the much money as they charging people to go to school now, that's enough for you to buy your home, put everything in it, and probably pay the taxes on it for a couple of years. That's how much it costs for somebody to go to school now. So at the end of the day, let's see what they do. And I'll leave it off on that, y'all. Pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. This has been your Don't Listen podcast with your boy TP. Stop playing. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Oh, but my head hurts. But I'm in the mix, y'all. Peace to you all on your journey. Have a great day, y'all. What I will say to you is don't be consumed by this shit. Don't be consumed by it. But just be aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? Never get consumed by all this ill will that man is doing to each other. Don't get consumed with it, because some people go crazy with all the information that they get. You understand? And it makes you crazy. So what I would tell you is, you know, don't get consumed with all the shit that you hear. Take what you need, throw the rest away. But just pay attention to what's going on around you. And just show love to people you need to, and show love to yourself. Don't allow yourself to be consumed, because this corruption ain't going nowhere, because once they fix this, they'll find another way to steal money. So don't consume yourself. I had to learn a valuable lesson. Okay? Good day to you all. Peace. I'm out.